Microphone check. Alright. Thought I'd take this opportunity to document some dreams that I've never documented before. I have told my husband most of them, especially the ones from 7 years ago. Uh, this fashion makes it easier, as I've said before. So let me think. I know that there's two dreams in particular that I want to put out there. At least three. There's one short one I'm thinking about. But there's one dream that I had. I actually explained this to my coworkers way back when. But there's one dream where I was working on a closet. I was always working on the house, despite what some are probably saying about me. And always working on the house because I wanted it finished so badly. So I could just be a normal wife, just clean. Anywho, I'm working on the closet in the dream. And from what I could remember, because it was in 2017, at some point I go to the dining room, I'm having a discussion with someone, can't remember who, and I wind up on the front porch. But in real life, the front porch is closed. In the dream, it's an open front porch. And since we're right by the water, I can see like the skyline kind of thing looking towards the water. And in the sky, I see clouds in the shape of dolphins. And I talked about this to my coworkers at one point, if they remember. And there was 3 dolphin-shaped clouds in the sky over where the water is. And I was a little amazed by it, looking at them. And then those dolphins turned to 3 dragons. They changed into 3 dragons. And the dragons start to fly. And they start to fly like south of the shoreline, and then they turn to fireballs or meteors, or missiles. I don't know. Maybe all the same thing. Could be anything. Could be fire and brimstone from the Bible. At that time, I wasn't a Bible thumper, what some would call a Bible thumper at the time. And so I was still learning, trying to understand why I was getting all these dreams, because I was getting a lot of them at that time, like 2017. I was getting a lot of dreams and things happening from both sides. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Not ashamed to say that because it's a reality, right? The spiritual world is a reality on both sides. So some people call it aliens. It's not aliens. It's the demonic side. And so I'm not ashamed of that. So I was getting things coming from both sides. And I didn't fully understand it at first. And it all started with a prayer. Very simple prayer. God, please show me the truth, because I was being shown things on the internet that was a lot of information that was confusing me. And it was like too good to be true kind of things, or end of the world kind of things. And I was worried about my family. Started to worry about my family back then, because I didn't teach them about God um, back then. So and so one night I went to bed and said a simple prayer and said, uh, God, please show me the truth and unconfuse me. And that was it. That was my prayer. And I went to bed. And the next 8 months, not too long after that, um, I started to get so many dreams. So many things started happening around me that I didn't understand it at first. I started to worry about myself, actually. Until at some point I said, oh man, I asked for the truth. And I guess he's given it to me. And of course, there's a timing and a place to even understand dreams and visions, right? And they call them hallucinations. Um, and they can come from both sides. But sometimes they're multi-layer, and they're needed for that time, and they're needed for when the understanding doesn't come right away. And so I had gained an understanding eventually for that time, and I guess that's what was needed for that time, till further understanding was needed. And so the dragons that were dolphin clouds that turned to dragons, they turned into fireballs, or meteors, and they started to fly, into certain directions. And one of them came into the direction of my house, and of me, actually. And just before it hit me, I woke up. So it was a fairly simple dream, but it all started with me fixing the house, speaking to someone in the dining room, and then for some reason going outside. I can't remember why. And then seeing, this thing happening outside. And so that was one dream that I wanted to express. The other one was kind of long. It was me coming out my backyard in Jersey, and my backyard was different. It was like really long, right? Making like if I'm coming out straight out my backyard, I make a right, and I'm taking a walk, and I didn't realize it at first, but Jesus was by my side. I couldn't see him, but I could feel him. I guess we're having a conversation, but I don't really hear any words. But we're taking a long walk, a journey together. And at the end of that walk, I get to a building with stairs. But just before I get to that building, there's like a downhill to the right of me. There's a downhill neighborhood with like an underpass, and there's like a van just before the underpass downhill with a bunch of girls gathering. And I take a look, and I see one of my cousins there. He's part of these girls. I believe I talked to her really quick and said hi. Not 100% sure. And I tried to find out what was going on, and there was some kind of modeling thing happening, forming, like some audition. And I go to the stairs to this building, and I pull out Starburst from my purse, I believe, and Starburst is one of my favorite candies. And stack 3 Starbursts onto the side of the stairs, and 3 stacks of 3, so 9. I don't know if that means anything. And so, with that said, if I remember correctly, as I stack them, I either have a magnifying glass and I'm inspecting each stack. I don't know what I don't, yeah, it was a long time ago. And as I'm inspecting them, a sunbeam, as you know, you have a magnifying glass, the sun comes and it melts them, but it's like this, like, severe sunbeam coming down and melts each Starburst stack. And I'm like upset. I'm like, why is it doing that? Stop beaming from the sky. And not really understanding all these things at the time. So I give up on whatever I'm doing with these Starburst stacks. Weird dreams, right? I go up the stairs to the building, open the door to go up to another flight of stairs, but the stairs are kind of like, they're usable but broken. There's other people trying to climb up it. I guess these girls that are going in for an audition, they're going in as well. And excuse me. The stairs are broken. Okay, the stairs are broken, and so I'm having a hard time getting up the stairs, but I make it finally up the stairs. Like, and as I'm climbing up, they're breaking a little bit more, but I make it. Right. So I make it up the stairs, and I get inside the building. I start to walk. And, as soon as you get inside the building, there's this like big open corridor, and to the right, there's like this line forming for this modeling audition, and it's around this whole corridor. And there's a sofa here with 2 people. I won't mention names. My husband knows the names. One of them's Satan, and there's someone in our family to the right of Satan. And then one of my cousins is on the line, not at this point, for the audition. So I see that, I keep walking past it, and I have this, like, for some reason, I know that I'm looking for my job in this building. Mind you, this is 7 years ago, right? And this is I think 2017, and I'm looking for my job in this building. So I go through like all these weird different sections of the building that they're doing things. Like the next section, there was just like a bunch of people in there, just kind of gathered, hanging out. I don't know, just standing around, just doing whatever. I don't remember all the detail, but what I do remember is I get all the way to the back, and I don't find my job. And I guess my impression was my job was in that building, but I don't find my job in that building. And so I leave. I start to head back to the front door of the building. And at this point, my cousin is closer to the audition. I go to talk to her to see, like, I guess how she's doing, checking up on her. And I get a closer, like this point, because I get a closer look of who's the auditioner. I didn't see it in the beginning. Their backs were to me. I see who the auditioner and the person to the right is. On the right hand side of Satan, I see that, it's Satan, and it's an actual man. It's not one with like horns on it. It's an actual man, but for some reason I know it's Satan. And the person that's sitting next to Satan, right? So it was a warning as to who to watch out for within my circle. And so I catch the warning. I leave the building. I decide to go down the side hill that I saw in the beginning and through this underpass tunnel that goes into a neighborhood. And I take a stroll through the neighborhood. And at some point there was something about donuts, getting or buying donuts. I don't remember that whole detail, but someone was insisting me finding a donut shop. But I think one of the important parts, this is probably the longest dream I've ever had in my life, is I get to like a school that's on a hill, and there's kids playing. There's kids playing, and it's like a Terminator 2. There's some kind of carnival, actually, now that I remember. There's some kind of carnival going on outside of the schoolyard, and it's a Terminator 2 theme. And and I remember in the dream, I'm like upset at this point, like, look at this, and this is what they're gonna turn the world into, Terminator 2. This, like, I'm disgusted that they're teaching the children. They're teaching the children, or conforming them to, what they're gonna turn the world into, and making them love the, that future that they're going to create. And so I walk around the front of the building, and then they have the CERN, like the CERN entry kind of thing on the front lawn, up the front stairs. Looks like the CERN circle. And I get a little bit more upset. And I think at some point after that is when I try to find the donut shop. The donut shop. Whatever that's supposed to show me. So, yeah, I didn't find my job. So I don't know. My analysis, I'm just thinking about that dream now again. I guess my analysis of that dream is, I have a journey with Jesus, a talk with Jesus, and a journey. And he was showing me that at some point, there's this audition for Satan at the same time while I'm losing my job. And people are being recruited, or have been recruited for Satan. And I lose my job, and it's Terminator 2 time, which is where we're at right now. And I had this dream 7 years ago. And along with that dream of the meteors forming, I guess over New York, and one striking, I guess, like me or my home during that time, which looks like where we're at right now. So I'm just looking to document some of the dreams because, you know, nobody's gonna document them for me, and it is go time for Jesus, and this is what's gonna happen soon. So with that said, I did have another short dream. I don't remember the whole details of it, but there was this is I don't know how perfect. I mean, I don't. And maybe do prophetic to other things, but there was one with my cousin Amanda and Demon Nelson on the stairs, and a third person I want to say, but I don't remember who. And I don't remember the details, but they were sitting on my stairs in my home in Jersey, and I remember it being weird. And back then, these dreams started in 2017. I mean, every dream I have told my husband. So the flood dream. So I'm not ashamed about these dreams because I didn't do any of these parts. So I want to document them for everybody to listen to later on. Because, well, I get prophetic dreams. Apparently, I've been getting them since I used to get them as a kid. They stopped when I was 15 due to witchcraft. If people want to believe that or not, it's a fact. Stopped when I was 15 due to witchcraft. And so the flood dream, I had a few dreams of my house flooding in Jersey. I don't remember all of them, but there was one that came to me recently in a little bit more detail. Like I remembered the detail of it. And that one is me waiting, like I'm walking through down the driveway of my home in Jersey, and I'm walking through the driveway of my home in Jersey, and there's water about shin deep. There's water about shin deep, and I'm walking through the water, right? So it's like a flood just happened. I'm not sure how the flood happened, but I'm walking through it. I'm walking through it. From like the front of the house through the driveway towards the backyard, right side of the driveway towards the middle. It's one of the things that I had remembered maybe about 2 months ago. And so at some point, I'm looking over the gully in our backyard. I call it the gully or valley because it kind of like dips like almost like a Grand Canyon, small Grand Canyon. It's a beautiful view. It's one of the reasons why I bought that house. and I'm looking. So I'm in like the middle of the yard, right side. I'm all the way back, almost right side of the yard, wading in the water, which means that valley is flooded. So like even for Sandy, that valley it it filled up a good amount. Um, because for Sandy, I was watching it. I was so nervous about Sandy. But I was also in a way excited because we would have a river in our backyard, which would obviously up the value of our home. It would be nice to have that. Um, but also nervous at the same time because so many trees could fall on the home. And so, with that said, I'm back at the edge of the valley, in the middle of the yard, by a tree, trying to see the flood in the valley, like how much water is in the valley, which, of course, is a lot because if it's in the driveway, the valley was full. But I just wanted to see it, and at that point, I see a string tied to a rope, kind of tied to, I believe, the leaning tree in my yard, and I found it strange. I found it strange to have see a rope there. Never saw that there before, and I decided to pull on it in the dream. And mind you, all these dreams I'm having are end times dreams. During this 2017, God wouldn't leave me alone. He didn't let me sleep a lot of times. Um, so, so I start to pull on the rope, and a body pops up. And I know it's gonna make it seem like, I know I did it, but I didn't. Right? So it was a dream, and it was a prophetic dream. Because we're in the end times, whether people want to believe it or not. They didn't believe Noah. So, with that said, I obviously that I'm wondering what the heck is that about. And I look back and I see my husband and not my son, my husband and his best friend D, kind of like there. They weren't there. I don't believe they were there to start when I was waiting in the water, but for whatever reason, I knew to look back, and I looked back at my husband and his best friend D, um, kind of like with their heads down, and was like, you know, with a little bit of shame, looking at me like, sorry, kind of. We didn't do it, but sorry. Kind of shameful, head down kind of thing. And I'm looking back at them like, what the hell is this? What did you guys do here? Type of thing. Now again, all of these dreams, I told my husband, right? So looking back and not understanding why I'm having these dreams at the time, but remembering his face, his face and expression when I told him, he was learning that I was having prophetic dreams, and that God was showing me what they were all doing. I didn't know it yet. I didn't understand it because it wasn't time to understand it. There's so many dreams that I don't remember, and maybe they'll come back to me, maybe they won't. But part of the reason why they kept me in drama is so that I don't remember. So the narcissistic abuse, severe. I'll never be able to prove now, and I do understand that severe narcissistic abuse and witchcraft, best of my memory. So let's see, what other dreams do I remember? I know that there was one that I spoke about my mother-in-law. I don't remember the specifics of that dream, uh, but I guess it was one that where she passed away. Okay, I don't want to harm her. Trust me, I don't want to harm her. By far, that was never any wanted to save her. So, I still think uh, she will be saved on a spiritual level. When this is all said and done, she will be saved. Jesus will save her, free her. She wants to be freed. My husband wants to be freed. So, with that said, uh, what else? What other dreams? Yeah, I guess I'll think about it for a while. I'm trying to think what other dreams I had back then. I know that at one point, when my husband and I got back together, uh, the last time, um, I had a dream of my aunt. Like we had ghosts soon after, and well, COVID happened. COVID happened. COVID was the only thing that saved. Well, I wouldn't say the only thing. COVID. When we got back together, and he wanted to get back together. I don't care what he says or what they're making him say. Uh, what really stopped the plan, at least temporarily, was COVID, because all of them went into such fright because they don't put people in fear, right? And if you don't have the love of Christ and the understanding, at this point, I had another level of no fear, uh, just like just like now. And they were in such fear of COVID, uh, and I think the witchcraft had stopped, and he was able to keep control of himself for that time. Um, they were so scared that that was their priority at that point, and he was able to gain control of himself. And we had peace, mostly. Yeah, we did until my aunt died and COVID subsided, and they cured everything. So uh, at least most of the time, and there was some episodes in between, but it wasn't as severe as it was before that split up 5 years ago. So, but I did have a dream, and like I said, I'm not ashamed of any of this. I'm gonna speak it because I mean, you guys can call me crazy or psychotic, whatever it is. I'm not ashamed to speak my truth about end times, about my prophetic dreams, about how they do their witchcraft, uh, and it is them doing the witchcraft. But I had a dream about my aunt. So COVID came, and then we had Ghost, and he was our priority. He's our baby. He was our baby. He's still our baby. He's still our puppy. Uh, I love that boy to death, and I trained him. I trained him to talk with buttons. And he says, "Daddy, Daddy, give me, mommy, outside, ball." Um, I took my time. He rolls over. He calls on command. They're gonna steal. But they did all that. He backs up. He is a sweet boy, but they would not let me. He wanted him to be vicious, so that I would be blamed for that. He's gonna steal my. He's stealing my character. He stole my character. Everything that I am, which is actually a very patient, loving person who doesn't like to lie. I'm not saying I don't lie. Okay, I don't like to lie. I don't like to be lied about, and I just like to walk away from situations. I just haven't been allowed to, and yeah. So anyway, that dream was um, strange for sure, but it was some kind of house. Felt really eerie, demonic, and at one point, I caught my Aunt Evelyn um, sacrificing my dog. So what I took from that was uh, they weren't happy that we were so happy with our dog, and even though we couldn't have children anymore, uh, we had a new baby, which was our puppy that we loved. We still love him dearly. And but as a baby, it was our baby, and I could tell they were mad about that. Dream showed me they were really upset about it, and they were warning that they wanted to sacrifice him. And what I see now is that most of my pets, um, all of my pets, they have taken one way or another, and they have sacrificed them on me. They had me either give them to them one way or another, or they got lost one way or another. I would say like 99% of them, they did that. I mean, I can't prove that, but that's what I see, and I'm talking about even since Avian was a child, even since Avian was a child. So, um, what else? That's it for now. If I can think of anything else, start another video.